beneath the dazzling lights of Paris, the city of love and romance, lies a darker, more terrifying world. An empire of the dead, home to millions of souls, stretching for miles in a labyrinth of bone and shadow. This is the story of the Paris Catacombs. But this isn't just a history lesson. We're going to explore the chilling true stories and legends that haunt these tunnels and uncover a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. Imagine Paris in the late 18th century. The city is growing, but so are its graveyards. Cemeteries like Les Innocents were literally overflowing. We're talking about bodies buried in mass graves, decomposing so close to the surface that they were causing diseases to spread through the local markets and water supplies. The smell was unbearable, and the situation was a public health nightmare. The city walls were even buckling under the pressure of the buried dead. Something had to be done. The solution was as ingenious as it was macabre. Deep beneath the city streets lay a vast network of limestone quarries, tunnels that had been mined for centuries to build the very city that now stood above. The authorities decided to repurpose these dark, forgotten passageways. Starting in 1786, a massive 2-year-long project began. Every night, under the cover of darkness, convoys of wagons, draped in black, would creak through the streets. Priests would chant prayers as they led these processions, transporting the remains of over 6 million Parisians from the overflowing cemeteries to their new subterranean home. Think about that for a second. The bones of 6 million people. They weren't just dumped there either. As the years went on, the director of the quarry inspections, a man named Louis-Étienne Héricard de Thury, decided to transform the ossuary into something more organized. He arranged the bones into artistic, if unsettling, displays. Walls of femurs and tibias are punctuated by neat rows of skulls. You'll find crosses made of skulls, and even a giant barrel-shaped pillar constructed entirely of bone. He turned this resting place into a morbid monument, a visitable mausoleum. Inscriptions and poems about death and the fragility of life were carved into the stone, like the famous one that greets you as you enter. Arrête, c'est ici l'empire de la mort. Stop. This is the empire of death. And since the early 19th century, people have been drawn to this empire. First, it was the nobility, seeking a unique thrill. Then, the general public. Today, hundreds of thousands of tourists walk these official sanitized corridors every year. But the official tour only covers a tiny fraction, less than a mile, of the entire network. The full extent of the Paris Catacombs is estimated to be over 200 miles of unmapped, unstable, and utterly terrifying tunnels. This is where our story takes a much darker turn. These off-limits tunnels are known as the catacombs interdicts. It's illegal to enter them, but that doesn't stop a certain subculture of urban explorers known as cataphiles. For them, the catacombs are a secret underground playground, a place for parties, art projects, and exploration far from the eyes of the law. They have their own maps, their own rules, and their own secret entrances hidden throughout the city. They navigate the pitch-black, often flooded tunnels, sometimes for days at a time. It's a dangerous hobby. Tunnels can collapse. You can get hopelessly lost in the maze, and as some stories suggest, you might not be alone down there. This brings us to one of the most enduring and terrifying mysteries of the catacombs, the story of the lost video camera. In the early 2000s, a group of cataphiles exploring deep within the network supposedly stumbled upon a video camera lying on the muddy ground. When they played back the footage, what they saw was deeply disturbing. The video was shot by an unidentified man who was clearly exploring the tunnels alone. At first, he seems confident, navigating the narrow passages, but then his breathing becomes heavy, frantic. The camera starts shaking wildly. He begins to run. The footage is a chaotic blur of stone walls and piles of bones. You can hear his panicked breaths and the sound of his footsteps echoing in the darkness. He never says a word, but his terror is palpable. What was he running from? We never see it. He just runs, deeper and deeper into the labyrinth. The final few seconds of the footage show him dropping the camera and running off into the darkness until his footsteps fade away. He was never seen again. The footage was uploaded to the internet and quickly became a viral piece of paranormal lore. Was it a hoax? Many people think so. It's easy to fake something like this for internet fame, but others believe it's genuine. They point to the raw, unedited nature of the fear captured on tape. What could have terrified this man so much? Was it a tunnel collapse? Did he become disoriented and succumb to madness in the suffocating dark? Or, as the ghost stories suggest, did he encounter something else? Some entity that haunts the empire of the dead? Legends of ghosts and spirits in the catacombs have existed for as long as the ossuary itself. One of the most famous is the ghost of Philibert Aspert, a doorkeeper of the Val-de-Grâce hospital who, in 1793, ventured into the quarries looking for a secret stash of liquor. He got lost, his torch went out, and he wandered the darkness until he died. His body wasn't found until 11 years later, identified only by the hospital keys hanging from his belt. He was buried right where he fell, and some cataphiles claim to see his ghost still searching for a way out. Another story tells of the Green Man, a spirit from the pre-revolutionary era, from a time when the quarries were a haven for criminals and outcasts. And then there are the voices. Many explorers report hearing whispers, footsteps, or disembodied voices echoing in tunnels where they are supposed to be completely alone. Is it just the acoustics of the tunnels playing tricks on the mind, amplified by fear and darkness? Or is it the restless spirits of the 6 million souls whose bones line these walls? The psychological effect of being in the catacombs is intense. It's absolute darkness, a silence so profound you can hear your own heartbeat. The air is cool and damp, and you're constantly surrounded by the very literal remains of death. Your senses are on high alert, and your imagination can run wild. It's the perfect environment for fear to take root. Every shadow seems to move. Every drip of water sounds like a footstep. The story of the lost cameraman taps into our most primal fears. The fear of the dark, of being lost, of the unknown, and of death itself. Whether it's a true story of a man who met a terrible end or a cleverly crafted piece of fiction, it serves as a chilling reminder of the very real dangers of the catacombs. The authorities don't forbid entry just to be difficult. They do it because people have died down there. The network is a maze, it's unstable, and help is a long, long way away. So, the next time you see a beautiful picture of the Eiffel Tower or the Louvre, remember what lies beneath. A silent, sprawling necropolis, a monument to mortality built from the bones of millions. A place of history, art, and deep, unsettling mystery. A place where some believe the dead do not rest easy. The Paris Catacombs are more than just a tourist attraction. They are a stark reminder that every great city is built upon layers of history, and sometimes those layers are made of bone. What do you think happened to the man in the video? Was it a paranormal encounter, a tragic accident, or a clever hoax?